There we go. This is where it starts. It starts pretty boring and we'll see you guys in 14 hours.
If anybody looks like they live, it's you.
That's true.
There you go.
I'm the only one that doesn't look like he lives.
Everybody's here. Everyone made it. I was waiting for these guys. They were so last minute.
I don't think that's how it happened.
Hey, I could put music over that part.
Don't recall it happening now.
We're not flying yet.
Look, Ethan, look, I got a TV, look. I got a TV. I got my own TV. What are you doing?
Everybody grubbing. Andrea seems pleased.
Oh, this stuff is good, y'all.
What is that?
It's like your dessert chicken.
Oh, thank you.
It's dessert.
CHF.
Dude, they're gonna look at those ankles and they'll be like, yeah, she's from America.
Get Wilma? Did you get her?
There we go. We need one more.
Brad was
There
just
we go. All right.
When I fly to Texas, I'm going to fly first class.
No, you're not.
I want to.
You're going to look at the prices and you're not.
I want to try it at least once.
I'm so smart.
I'll put it on my credit card.
I didn't say it was small, but I just said it was. Well, I wouldn't save it for an international flight. I mean, because
That's
it's
probably a long one.
She said, and I need you.
Hey, I feel okay already. They've gone away. Clydesdale right there.
Yeah, that's what you did.
Time that Andrea lost her bag in Melbourne.
No, but like my lifting, like it's very Nike shorts. It's like $30, and I have like 5 of them.
Did you pack your fancy blue and yellow Armellos?
Romeos, it's like a couple hundred.
Girls needed the job, kind of. Okay, this is a first meal with green tomatoes.
Green tomato.
We don't have green tomatoes.
3 subdivisions. So I guess I'd have to buy out all 3 of us. You're in the way.
So do you own the land and the building?
It's very clear.
Or you have like a loan on the building?
He kicked
No,
out the
I own the property.
But that includes the
Yeah.
building then too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Right on. That's not a bad deal.
Right on, Brad.
Yeah. I was there last time. It was
Y'all are so brave.
freaking scary.
Y'all are so brave.
I used to.
Get it
I was
together.
holding it the wrong way.
Get it together, Brad.
When I sit in toilet seats, I sit the wrong way too.
Well, I was holding it the wrong way then.
Wow, it's been a while, about 2 weeks, and to be honest, that's about how long it took for me to catch up to basically the little dent that this trip left. But it was planned. It was totally planned. Every year, I commit to doing something where I travel and I try to go speak the good word. And lucky enough for me, this year I got to do it with my squad. So Team 3D Muscle Journey, we were invited by JPS Health and Fitness to come on down, pay them a visit, and speak. And that was such an honor, and it happened to be in Melbourne. None of us had ever been there, I believe, with the exception of Eric. So we jumped on it, and it turned out to be a really awesome trip, a memorable trip. And this is kind of sort of what this is going to be. So unlike a lot of my other entries where a lot of the focus is around my prep, this is going to kind of take, it's going to be a mini hiatus. And this kind of was for me too. Again, like I kind of planned for it to be this way. We're in late June, and we're kind of getting into the nitty-gritty portion of this prep. And so this was kind of like my time to, hang out with my peeps, cruise a little bit, and just have a really good time. And that's exactly what we did. So again, this will be a little bit different, but come next week, things will be more or less how you guys are used to. This is the first thing Jeff and I did upon landing. We're like, we got to get a training session in. So like literally like 3 hours post landing, we had breakfast and then straight to the gym, simply because we assumed that at some point the travel was going to hit us. So we might as well get it in now and then not have to worry about it later. To be quite honest, like compared to previous times where I've gone to Australia, well, just only once really. Like this time, I guess the jet lag wasn't really all that bad at all. I actually got quite a bit of good training sessions there while I was there. I think a lot of it obviously had to do with the environment, but I guess, yeah, it's just something I've just learned over time, is to just kind of fake it until you make it, and until you're completely caught up, or kind of sort of caught up to the schedule, and eventually you'll kind of adjust. So we got this in, and that was actually a lot of fun. And every time I get to train with Jeff, to me that's a big freaking deal, because he's the godfather, and in many ways he is the bodybuilder in terms of track record that I hope to be in the future. So so we got training in, we got some of that Nando's, which is something we do not have in the States, which makes absolutely no sense. The Coke bottles out here were very tiny, but the chicken and Nando's was fantastic. I kept going with the extra spicy, so that's one thing you're going to see over and over, is the extra spicy, and it's really not extra spicy, it's just spicy, to be honest, but that's what you get in the land down under. They're not huge on spicy food the way certain places here in America are, but that really helped me stay in the Nando's thing really saved me. I actually made some progress while on this trip, and once you see my grocery cart, well, there it goes, you'll see that, dude, I did a pretty good job staying on track. So for the most part, I kind of try to do what I usually do in terms of eating. And that way, should there be like social situations where I want to splurge, I can. So that's exactly what we did. And I do feel that while we were here, we made some pretty good progress in terms of fat loss. Given how long we were there, I think I actually progressed. So this is what I got. So a lot of my usual foods, to be honest. I think this is one of the reasons that I actually progressed quite a bit, is that every morning, and this was like our first day, I just like hit the streets. I just wanted to go out and explore. That's what I was doing. Every morning I was venturing out, exploring, walking like a mile, 2 miles, getting my cup of coffee, and then just kind of seeing the city come alive. It's probably one of my favorite things to do when I do travel to a place where, yeah, it's when it's a city. I like to call it, I guess, urban hiking. But yeah, getting your feet on the floor and moving around is probably the best way to kind of get to know an area. And especially if you're dieting, hey, I guess it kind of counts as some bonus cardio. But yeah, we did quite a bit of this. The next day, the whole crew went out, and we did some exploring together. So again, this was the big reason that I decided, like, yes, this is a must. Something that maybe a lot of you guys don't know is that we don't necessarily live super close to one another. There was a point in time where, yeah, I think 4 out of 5 of us lived in California. Andrea lives in Texas now. Brad still lives in California, as does Jeff, but they're like just far enough away from each other where seeing each other is not really it's not really routine. They're about 5 hours apart, and then of course I live in Colorado, and Eric lives in New Zealand. So yeah, getting to spend a few days together, just sitting around talking bullshit, was a good time. Like usual, we typically find ourselves at an aquarium. It's just something that keeps happening. So if you live in a town with a very, very nice aquarium, there's a good chance that at some point 3D Muscle Journey will find their way down there. But yeah, so we did a little bit of vacationing the first few days, kind of just chillaxed, relaxed, got our mind right. Brad was playing with the salties. I think that's what that was. Someone correct me. Melbourne, beautiful city. We got to see things and again, just kind of regenerate. But then pretty soon here, it was off to business. Yeah, it was the start of what we came here to do. And what we came here to do was to hopefully educate. Although I will say that this crowd, much like many of the crowds that do come to see us, usually they're, you know, we usually throw out there a few questions to kind of feel out the crowd and get a general idea of where they're at. And most of the time, yeah, they're a little bit more on the, I guess, the advanced side in regards to what they know, which, to be honest, it's yeah, it makes presenting a whole lot more fun to people like this, because they're very good at grasping concepts that sometimes, yeah, you would assume that a lot of crowds would have issues with grasping how, yeah, just whatever we say. There is an asterisk there in that, though, you know, it depends the how context plays a role in what information we might be dispersing. Again, just a wonderful group of people to present to, and this is where we did the presenting. Dude, check out that sign. That is big ballin'. That was so awesome, and Eric is definitely enjoying the fact that we represented hard. But yeah, in terms of presenting, I didn't get to film too much. Actually, my camera that I used to film, up until this point, I thought it was stolen. It was actually just somewhere in my girlfriend's car, so I wasn't able to bring that camera in with this. The audio would have just been a little off. I did want to get some snippets for you guys, but they just didn't come out very clear, because all of this recording that I'm doing, it's via my phone. But yeah, I think in regards to how we split up the presentation, Eric talked about flexible dieting, Brad talked about training, Jeff talked about making bodybuilding kind of coexist with the rest of your life, especially the contest prep side of things. And then Andrea talked about that, but just having it exist as part of you in a healthy way. So she went over all that stuff. I went over the what did I go over? Oh yeah, I went over I guess you could say nutritional periodization for bodybuilders. More than anything, just kind of helping people create timelines. So timelines, and kind of connect the off season to the on season. So that was my gig. And again, just super good crowd. Like, we had a Q&A afterwards, and the questions, they were really, really good, sometimes challenging questions, but just like really, really good questions that made you think. You as a presenter made you think. So yeah, we had a ball at this event. And I think, per usual, the way it usually goes is that, even though this is pretty cool, I think that one part that people really look forward to is the hands-on part. This is me the next day in the morning doing my thing, going out, getting a cup of coffee, or a what is it? A long black, as they say, long black and some Tim Tams to go, please. And like I said, I think this is one of the reasons why I came back a little bit leaner, was the 2 or so miles I walked every day. But this part people absolutely love. They love they love this part, of course, but also when you actually get to put people through movements. And I think the big thing that we did here is we took folks with slightly different errors when it came to their form on certain compounds, and we were able to fix, I guess, or break down people with slightly different needs. And then not to mention, we got through the secondaries, which of course is, as bodybuilders, me and Jeff were all over that part. But yeah, this was probably the most fun part, was being able to actually hit the floor with people and go over some of the fundamentals, some of the basic movements. But then also, because it was such a good crowd, we were able to actually expand upon that and perhaps go over some very context specific things. that they might at some point in the future find useful. And then we worked out. We did this. We got some posing in. Me and my boy Evan right here, we got some posing. Dude is freaking humongous. Dude, folks were hitting PRs all over the place. And while I didn't hit no PRs, any PRs while I was here, I definitely trained much better than I thought I would with, again, with the jet lag I was trying to pretend wasn't really going on. But yeah, I think the best part about these bodybuilder vacations of sorts is that you get to do things like this. You get to lift with other folks and enjoy doing this. Like, that's the one thing that I got as I was kind of recording and just spinning the camera around the room, is like, dude, that's the one thing we all absolutely love. It's our favorite part of our day for everyone here. So yeah, I think that is I guess in a way like my kind of vacation. I like to eat, explore, train, and that's exactly what took place here. So all in all, a really good time. I really needed this break, guys. So, you know, again, excuse me if we've kind of taken we're off on a little YouTube tangent here, but I wanted to throw this up as part of my video series because, again, it's with my peeps. It's with Team 3D Muscle Journey and all the homies you see here, and it's part of this prep in a way. And even if you didn't make it this far, it's still I guess it's part of my memoirs, and I wanted to keep it here. But again, starting next week, we're gonna get back to what we were doing, what was working well up until this trip. I have some really good updates for you guys, both in terms of physique, how I'm doing mentally, and perhaps maybe even have some shows picked out. So we'll definitely go over all that during the next entry. But again, team JPS, Jacob, Zoe, everyone else who helped us out and made this event what it was, thank you very much. It was just a surreal experience, and it gave me a chance to just do my thing with my people. So yeah, I think I'll leave it there for now. Great editing, Bert. Melbourne was wonderful. The event was wonderful, but I'm glad to be back home and grinding once again, and we'll go over that next week.
You know when you stuff grows on you, you know what I mean? Just like a cute girl can become ugly and ugly girl, you thought this ugly can become beautiful, and then before you know it, you're like, wow.